Oh, buenas tardes! It just sounds so scary. Just this ching, 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 ching. It just has to be the sweetest shooting thing, man. What's up, everyone? Yep, today we're talking about another Zastava. That means the Zastava check cleared, so we're getting another shill post. All right, so what we have here is our M90, the full-length 5.56 rifle that is made in Serbia by Zastava, a Yugo pattern 5.56 AK. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about this gun specifically and give you a bit of an update on it because we have hit well over 7,000 rounds and we actually put a few more 100 rounds in this video. So I thought it would be cool to kind of show you how it's holding up, show you the bolt, the carrier, the trunnion. I can't remember the last time I tore this thing down and really honestly looked at the internals to see if there was any crazy metal movement. So I sat around and watched every single video I've ever filmed of this, added up every single competition I've ever had it at, any class or any training session, and we are a little over 7,000. After today's video, we're at about 7,300 rounds. So figured it was time. Later in today's video, I also have pictures from another guy named Chad Dyke who has a very cool M90 that he uses at competitions, and he has thousands of rounds on his. I asked him if he would send me pictures of his internals so we could kind of compare, because the guns have similar round counts. So that way we wouldn't really just have like a sample set of one. I thought it would be cool to show two high round count M90s and we could talk about it. Not only that, I want to tell you about this specific M90 and how we have it currently set up. It looks very different from the last time that we had it featured in a video. We're trying out some brand new parts all the way around, and I can honestly say after shooting it at the range today, it's one of the sweetest shooting AKs I have, and it's shooting better than it ever has in the past in the current configuration. Before we get into the M90 video, if you want to support us and you like what we do here, we don't have Patreon and we don't read paid ads, but what we do have is merch. thirdpinthreads.com. If you go there, you'll find some really cool AK t-shirts, hats, beanies, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff, a lot of which is hand-drawn by Tattoos by Paul out in Austin over at Red Stag Tattoos. Does an amazing job creating logos and images for us. And yeah, man, the t-shirts really do directly affect this channel, and I don't have to shill a bunch of stuff that you guys don't care about. So if you want to help us out in any way, that's the best way. All right, let's go ahead and get back to this Zastava M90. So let's talk about my specific M90. I bought this thing way back in 2019 at a local gun shop, and it was right before I got COVID really bad. So I remember I bought this, didn't even get to take it out of the box, and I was laid out for like a month, right? So as soon as I came out of the COVID experience, I went straight to the M90. I started filming it and shooting it, and instantly fell in love with how well it shot. Now, even before that, I ran what was called an M90 NP, which is virtually the same gun that was imported earlier, but it took AR-15 mags. Kind of a weird thing that the M90 actually came in years before we ever got this version, but it took AR-15 mags, and these things used to sell for cheap, but it's virtually the exact same gun with the tunable gas block. And I've had two of those before, and I was always so impressed at how freaking soft those things shot back then and how well they took a suppressor. When they announced this thing with Rock and Lock mags, I sold my NP instantly. My dad still has the one that I bought for him, so I really should grab that thing one day and do a comparison. But I ended up selling that one to buy this one because the Rock and Lock version was the one I always wanted. We could just never get it. So anyway, fast forward, we buy it, get COVID, come out of COVID, and I start blasting this thing, and it was just as soft and smooth as I had remembered the NP being, but with those Rock and Lock mags, it was the AK experience that I craved. I just like Rock and Lock mags on an AK, call me crazy, but I liked it way better than the NP. Now, back when it was factory, obviously it would not have looked like this. It would have had an 18-inch barrel. I actually bought mine with some really gross black plastic that they were selling. You couldn't get the Woodstock sets factory back then. Eventually they came out that way. But had the 18-inch barrel, had the factory 3-position gas block, the fixed stock, the factory trigger, totally bone stock factory, right? And I ran it that way for a while and started adding optics and other aftermarket stuff and triggers and brakes and all kinds of things. And I always found the M90 to take all that aftermarket just so well. As long as it was obviously Yugo spec furniture, it took all the furniture I threw at it. Over the years, this thing has rocked RS Regulate rails. It has had the factory walnut stock set. It's had surplus stock sets. It's ran SIG stocks on 1913 adapters. It's had a lot of different crazy stuff, all different types of grips, several different triggers. In fact, right now we're running Meridian Defense, but for the longest time it ran ALG. And man, we have shot this thing at several major AK matches, several major matches that were not even AK specific. I've filmed a butt ton of videos on this gun. It's really just been ran extremely hard. We've even had an FRT in this thing back when we had an FRT video that was live. It's just done everything so well. So eventually, Occam Defense comes out with their tunable gas block, and I figured, you know what the hell? This gun's a musket. I always thought it would be cool to cut an 18-inch M90 down to a 16-inch gun. I wouldn't have to pin and weld the muzzle device, but it still, you know, would look shorter overall. And that's what we did here. So we actually sent this gun to John at M13. He cut the barrel down for us, and you'll also see on this barrel that the contour had to be turned down to fit the Occam block. You can actually even kind of see. I know it's going to be a little hard to see, but the barrel is thicker up to a certain point, but he had to actually turn away some material to get that block on there. What we ended up with was a very cool looking 16-inch barrel with, right now, a JMac muzzle device with chemo so that we could put a Sandman on there that actually sleeves the barrel a little bit, so it even makes the barrel look shorter than it actually is. And he pressed on that Occam block. What's cool about the Occam block compared to everything else, it has windage and elevation adjustment. It's actually got an AR-15 front sight post, and it comes with a tool and everything. The only gas key that Occam sold for this block was calibrated for 7.62 by 39. So I ran it for a while, and honestly, there were like two usable settings. There was a setting that worked, but it was pretty punchy, and then there was a setting that was too undergassed, but it would work suppressed. Now we have a 5-position gas key specifically cut for 5.56, and I gotta tell you, dude, probably the biggest upgrade so far. This Occam block has now reached its full potential. In this video, it will flip you out to show you how soft this thing shoots and how well it suppresses. No idea what setting it's on. It's kind of straight up and down, so let's watch those casings. Ooh, that felt so soft. That felt so much softer than the 7.62. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I need to change that. That was amazing feeling. I'm gonna change it just for the shits and gigs of it. Okay, for me, I went clockwise. Let's just see. Kind of feels the same. Let's go one more time. Oh, it turns so easy. That's my undergas setting. So let's go back. So this must be my lowest setting right here. I bet you that setting I was just at is the suppressor setting. All right, let's do a quick little double tap. You're gonna have to shoot this in a second. It's the softest shooting AK I've ever felt, and I know I say that a lot. Okay. Woo! Even that was not quite enough gas, but I'm telling you, that other setting, straight up and down, was nice. Wowee. Damn. I thought this thing shot flat before with the 7.62 gas key, because that's all they sold at the time. The 5.56 gas key, it kind of has this gold color. Oh, dude.
What? No way.
All right, now check this out. I don't know if you'll outrun it. All right.
Probably not. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like.
Yeah, so it likes this setting.
Yeah, all right.
You can just tease it back into the chamber a little bit. There you go.
All right, here we go. Full turbo?
Full turbo, dude.
Oh my God, I still have some ammo in there. Oh,
Pretty freaking soft.
you weren't kidding, that is super soft.
Other than that, the big change that we have on this gun is the JMac MMS. Don't believe he's ever made one of these for Yugo pattern AKs. He reached out, asked if I would like to try one, and I thought, you know, I've got that new gas key for the M90. I think it's time to get it out of the safe and really start taking this thing to some competitions and doing something cool with it. So yeah, let me try out that MMS. So Justin sent the 10-inch MMS specifically made for Yugo pattern AKs, and of course their railed dust cover, which we also have a full video on. We have one of these on the Draco, and it worked good, always held 0. But something about this gun and the way that the barrel's cut with that combo block, this gun has a devious, nasty looking look to it. I mean, just look at that, dude. It just looks nasty, and I think a lot of that also has to do with the Novus Precision 1P87 optic. That is not the best optic in the world. It's a pretty good clone of the Russian 1P87 that we're seeing all over Ukraine. And it's not very bright. It's like not the best dot in the world. It's definitely usable and it looks titties, but it's a vibe. It just looks so good on railed dust covers. Like, this is the dot to put on a railed dust cover AK if you just want it to look good. It looks amazing. So that's how we have it kitted out now. We still have our beautiful Kula. I know this translates into tower in Serbian. A lot of people tell me it means a lot of different things, but yeah, very cool piece of trench art. Looks really cool with a hyper modernized AK with a little bit of wood. So we've got trench art, we have the walnut stock wrapped with some goon tape, and we actually have a factory M70 grip out of a parts kit, and you can even maybe see right there, there's a little bit of trench art on there. Super cool. My absolute favorite look of an AK is mixing old school surplus furniture with modern aftermarket. It just has this Mad Max kind of like Elysium, you know, kind of style of a look to it. I just think that looks so cool, and it's functional. So you get best of both worlds. Looks good and it's functional. Okay, so today we shot another 300 rounds to this thing as you see it. And what we did first was test out that new gas key to see what it felt like, suppressed and unsuppressed, and we found some really good settings. And then we got this dot zeroed and we just started blasting.
Oh!
And the case is going about 10 feet away. Perfect.
No way. Let me try that again. Bro. What the hell? That is crazy.
Woo, right over me.
You could have probably cut that casing.
Oh, dude, take a couple shots at steel. We finally zeroed the damn thing, by the way.
Here we go. Oh, hi. Empty.
Hell yeah. So the rail gets very hot.
It is very toasty.
Very hot. We haven't really shot it a whole lot, honestly. So I think I'm gonna put a forward grip on it and man, maybe something to cover up some of that rail space. It gets brutally hot, honestly it does. Okay, situation report. It's basically a 249. So 249 looks like it does 249 things. Okay, so we have this really chunky mag for 5.56 by AC Unity. It's a big fat ass mag, holds 29 rounds, but with some fancy editing we can keep the ball rolling past 29. And yeah, okay, so now we're shooting a little bit of brass case this time on that same suppressor setting. I'm going to go ahead and turn it down because typically brass case is a bit hotter. Ugh, we're already carbon locking there. Yeah, all right. Let's just see what it feels like. This is honestly the softest shooting gun I've ever felt, and the suppressor makes it just so much freaking better. All right, check this shit out. Unfortunately, that setting just ain't it, so we'll go back. Right there. This is just straight R-worded, dude. Oh, bro. Just dumb. It's just dumb is what it is. Hey, that mag's working pretty good. All right, everyone just calm down. Dude, all right. Ripping and tearing time. All 29 rounds, flawless there, brother. I've heard these work great with M90s. Your mileage may vary on some other 5.56 AK variants. So Jerry, I'll put your Instagram right here, Jerry Bear. Thanks for letting me borrow this. Now I'm gonna have to buy it from you. Locks in really nice. Does not lock the bolt open. Sometimes these will, sometimes they won't. Dude, oh, he even lubed it up with graphite. Jerry, I don't care what they say about you, dude. So cool. Wow. Dude, that's a little Serbian 249. That's what that is. We need one of these about that long. With a couple extra zeros.
30 chicken nuggets.
Yes. Ow, but it's so hot. I say it a bunch in this range footage, and sorry, I know the range footage sound isn't that great, but I said it a million times that day. Wow. I don't know if I've ever felt a softer shooting AK, and yes, this thing is heavy. Heavy, heavy, man. One of my heaviest AKs, and it's one reason why a lot of people don't like Yugo AKs. They think they're needlessly heavy when there are AKM options out there that shoot the same round for much lighter, and they definitely have a point. However, with that weight comes very soft recoil, so it does have a little bit of a benefit, honestly. The gas block coupled with the weight and that 4-chamber brake, there's just something magical going on with this gun, and man, that Meridian trigger works really well in this gun, so we were pulling off really crazy splits. We ran a few drills, and it was just fast and light on its feet. When you put the can on this thing, it feels about as heavy as a freaking 249, and we started calling it the freaking Serbian 249 when we put that chubby AC Unity mag on there, because we just had so many rounds to go through, and it was heavy and had no recoil, and it was just such a cool experience. So check out some of that footage. Oh, it just sounds so scary. It's just this ching 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 ching. Sounds so cool, dude.
And then just go to town. Pop, 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 pop. Woo. Was that it?
Yeah, 29 rounds, flawless. Dude.
Oh, 29 rounds, sorry. Oh my god, he's hot. Oh shit. When I was retreating, I didn't even have it in my shoulder.
No recoil.
It just sat there. I was like, what? Damn, dude. Zastava. So the Zastava M90, and I would say also the M85 are slept on.
For sure.
These things are slept on for sure. They're built like tanks, man.
Anyway, so I wanted to show you the bolt, the carrier, and the trunnion on this thing now that you know it has a little over 7,000 rounds. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. And as we look at this, we'll start with the bolt. I got it cleaned up there for you, and I think you'll notice that there's really nothing to talk about, honestly. Just boringly good looking. You can see the lug where most AKs would have quite a bit of metal movement, where it actually massages into the cam channel on the carrier. And if you were to compare that spot on the carrier here, you'll see that there's just a little bit of smoothness there where those parts have kind of massaged themselves together. But man, I gotta tell you, seen way worse on a lot of other AKs. Like, I mean, you wanna see bad metal movement, look at my Draco. But usually that metal movement will stop after time. And anyone that's put parts kits together, you kind of see the same metal movement in the same places. You see it on the tang, you see it really bad on this one spot on the locking lug, and you see it in the cam channel on your carrier. So here's the tang of the carrier. That's the mushrooming a lot of people freak out about. So that mushrooming happens because that is the part of the carrier that is smacking into your trigger hammer when it resets it. Now what can happen when you start changing out triggers to ALGs or something else, typically those triggers, the metal's a lot harder than the carrier metal. So the harder metal wins, and eventually your tang will start to splash, is what is the term that they use. The metal will move. Eventually it stops. With that amount of metal movement after 7,000 rounds, I would say it has stopped in its freaking tracks. If it's not any worse than it is now after 7,000, it ain't getting any worse. Just saying. So there's nothing here that I would see that freaks me out. Now, if you look at the trunnion, there's one little spot that I don't even know if I would call concerning, but there's a little shiny spot right here. If you take a look at it, you'll see something smacking it right there, and it has peened a little bit, but it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely there. I want to show you some pictures of Chad's M90. I believe Chad has 6,000 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. He sent me a picture of his trunnion, and I said, man, mine's got the same little shiny spot in the same exact spot. I mean, the same freaking spot. So here's a picture of his bolt, just so you can see there. Nothing crazy. Picture of his carrier. Nothing crazy. Then you look at his trunnion. We have the same little massaging of metal there. Is that concerning? I don't know. Never really seen that on AKM trunnions, so definitely something I'm going to keep an eye out for. And maybe when we push past 10,000, we'll keep looking at that one little spot. However, all in all, that's it. And even if you look inside of the receiver, your fixed ejector is sharp as hell. It has no metal movement. That is a commonplace on a lot of AKs where the carrier and those steel casings really beat the crap out of that fixed ejector and metal starts to move over. This one is sharp as hell. Looks just like it did coming out of the factory. So yeah, internally, those are really the only things I ever pay attention to. Looks fine, man. Boringly clean. One little spot on the trunnion we're definitely going to keep an eye on, so we'll talk about that in the next video if we can ever hit 10,000 rounds. So all in all, over the years, this M90, for all the crap that Zastavas catch sometimes, has been a good one, man. It's been a really good one, and it was so good, in fact, that I actually spent some pretty good money to have this thing put under the knife and have the barrel chopped and have this gas block pressed on. You know, gunsmithing isn't cheap, but it's not horribly expensive if you do want to get the most out of your AKs. And on that point, I think what I want to say to end out this video is the M90, in my opinion, is probably one of those 5.56 AKs that just has the most potential to unlock. You don't like the 18-inch barrel, you're not stuck with the 18-inch barrel. You can have it trimmed down. I see a lot of guys trim their factory barrels down and they keep the factory front sight post and they keep the factory gas block. So here's a couple other pictures where people have done just that, and they didn't have to put an aftermarket combo block in. What's really cool is there are aftermarket gas keys for M90s and M70s that give you 5 positions of gas instead of the factory 3. So you don't have to go this R-worded with your gun. You could just do that. Hell, if you just were to swap out the gas key for the 5-position gas key that's, you know, for sale out there all over the place, just that is a huge bonus. You can literally take an M90, add some gas settings, which takes no gunsmithing. You just pop it in place, put you a decent muzzle brake on there, put a nice trigger in there, and dude, you will have one of the sweetest shooting AKs that money can buy. You honestly, that's what it is. And then, you know, obviously you can go a lot harder than that. So I really do think, man, that if you get past the weight and the proprietary parts of an M90, or really any of the Yugo stuff, there's really good bones under there, and there is something just waiting to be unlocked. And I feel like I've unlocked the full potential of this gun, even though I really didn't have to. It was shooting really good even before I did all this crazy stuff. So yeah, man, that's the M90. That's how this one's doing. It's doing great. Highly impressive shooting. Feels really good, still reliable. We'll keep an eye on that trunnion, and we'll hit you back when we hit 10,000 rounds. So what do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about the way we have it currently configured? What do you think about that new JMac MMS chassis system? Looks kind of disgusting on this gun. Something about that barrel combo up front, how everything kind of comes to a point, kind of looks like a battleship floating through the galaxy. It's just kind of cool. And yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you guys are having good luck or bad luck with your M90s. It definitely seems to be, if you go on Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, when anyone's asking, hey, what 5.56 AK should I buy? I see the M90 dropped just about more than anything else out there at the price point. I think a lot of people would agree it's probably one of the absolute best 5.56 AK options at its price point. Honestly, one of the best options in general. So yeah, man. Anyway, that's all I have for you all. Keep an eye out for another update on this thing, and we'll see you next time. Love you, bye.
Oh, you almost had a field goal. Man, look at that target.
So we're a little smoky, as you can see. Yes, sir. But if you look, if we were to put some calipers